Have you ever wondered why some people, no matter how desperately hard they work, stay stuck at the very bottom of society, never able to rise? There's a very famous documentary. The director spent a full 49 years following 14 children from different social classes, starting at age 7, filming them every 7 years, all the way to 56. And this documentary revealed an extremely cruel social truth. The children of the rich mostly grow up to be rich, and the children of the poor, in the end, usually stay poor. This is top-tier logic. I'm Mojo. We see through the logic of money, because wealth is the only chip, to real freedom in this brutal world. Poverty and wealth, just like genes, are inherited. Is it because poor kids don't work hard enough? Or because they never got a good chance? Neither. What truly decides their fate is the environment of the family they're born into, and the rules of the game their parents teach them from a young age. Today, I'll help you see the major environmental factors that trap the poor, and the 3 core keys for ordinary people to break the poverty trap. First point. The poor are drained of time by survival, while the rich enjoy resources passed down for generations. The first reason poor kids struggle to rise is that the upper class already occupies most of society's resources. Building wealth and insight takes time to settle. Rich kids can step straight onto the solid foundation laid by the last generation and easily climb to a higher floor. They're born with a money makes money mindset. When a good chance comes, family capital and connections back them fully. But the children of the poor? No capital, no connections, everything starts from zero. Even more fatal, they don't even have the luxury of time. The poor are busy from 7 in the morning to 11 at night. Not because they love overtime, but because they face a brutal survival crisis. Car loans, mortgages, the weight of feeding a family crushes them. Stop grinding. In an environment that drains their energy on survival every day, naturally they have no spare time to think about life's direction or wealth strategy. Second point. The poor are limited by their parents' outdated mindset, while the rich get high-level guidance. Before 30, a young person's biggest obstacle often isn't the outside world, it's their own family. Rich parents, with high-level insight and connections, can give razor-sharp guidance and support at life's key moments, helping kids dodge countless traps. But poor families? The elders are still struggling in poverty themselves. That limited insight simply can't give the right guidance. Some parents even, with their own ignorance, unintentionally hold their kids back. For example, a child once full of passion and talent for art, whose parents, just because a friend who does accounting was doing okay, forced the kid to study accounting, all for a so-called stable iron rice bowl. But the times move too fast. Old knowledge simply can't measure future trends. Today, as AI rises, many jobs once seen as iron rice bowls will very likely be replaced by machines in the future. If elders, minds, stay stuck in the past, not only can't they see these trends, they use old ideas to limit their kids. For poor kids, the impact is devastating. Third point. The poor can't afford the cost of trial and error, while the rich have the backing to retry endlessly. On the racetrack of life, to build something, you must try. And trying means you might make mistakes, take detours. All of this. Rich families have abundant room for trial and error. Like China's former richest man Wang Jianlin, who could just hand his son Wang Xikong 500 million yuan in startup money to play with. Even if all 500 million was lost, Wang Xikong is still a rich heir. He has endless chances to rise again. But poor kids have no such capital, so naturally they lose the courage to even try. When they finally catch a chance, what they hold is their parents', hard-saved pension, or sweat money borrowed from relatives and friends. They carry the whole family's hope. This is a last stand. Once they fail, massive debt can crush them in an instant, leaving them no chance to ever rise again. Because they can't afford to lose, they don't even dare to try. Fourth point. The poor are limited by vision and chase quick wins, while the rich see the long-term value of marginal returns. Limited vision often makes a person extremely short-sighted, blind to long-term gains. Let me tell you a true story of my own. Back when I just started my channel, with subscribers still growing in the tens of thousands, a friend asked me whether new media was worth doing. I showed him the ad revenue data on the back end. With a hint of disdain, he said, "You're not even earning much, and it's this hard. Better get a stable, high-paying job or open a physical store." After hearing him, because within his limited vision he only saw the thin ad revenue in front of him, he had no clue what marginal returns means. Over the next 6 months, as content kept piling up, my exposure multiplied. Ad revenue and product sales soared exponentially, while my production costs stayed almost flat. The overly short-sighted always fixate on how much fixed money they take home each month. They're too eager for quick wins, always wanting to skip the accumulation phase every venture must go through. The result is forever missing out on the long-term opportunities that could bring explosive growth in the future. After all this, are people born poor doomed to just lie down and accept fate? Of course not. This is the final and most crucial fifth point, the 3 core keys for ordinary people to cut off the poverty gene. The first key: bravely break free from the bonds of your birth family. The famous British author Somerset Maugham said something razor sharp. He said, "The main reason humanity progresses is that the next generation doesn't listen to the last. If the state of your birth family isn't what you want, then you must bravely break out. Even if it causes conflict, you must learn to reject advice trapped in old thinking. Only then can you truly take back control of your life." The second key: use the internet for low-cost trial and error. The poor's biggest disadvantage is no room for trial and error. But luckily, we live in an internet age where trial and error is cheap. You no longer need to pour huge money into a physical store. Through running new media and building a personal brand, you can try and test the market at extremely low, even zero cost. The third key: quit the gambler's mindset and learn the power of accumulation. Cheap is often the most expensive. Stop dreaming of pie falling from the sky and don't fantasize about getting rich overnight through shortcuts. Anything truly valuable must go through long-term accumulation. When you focus on letting value settle, wealth will naturally, one day, match your level of insight. By now, take a moment to look back on your own life. Have you ever, out of fear of failure, given up on attempts that could have changed your fate? Have you ever been hijacked by elders, traditional views, trapped in a field you don't even like, draining yourself day after day? Remember, what a family can leave its children, besides genes, is wealth and insight. If you didn't inherit great wealth, then at least you can start now and change your own insight gene. There's a great saying, if you feel relaxed now, it's because someone is carrying the weight for you. And if you feel huge pressure, it's because you are carrying the weight for your next generation. Stop wearing busy poverty as a badge of pride and stop making excuses for backing down. Poverty may be inherited through environment, but low-cost trial and error in the internet age is your strongest weapon to cut off the poverty gene. When you truly find the courage, break the cage of your mind, and learn to build value with time, you'll be deeply grateful to the you of today, who chose to carry the weight alone and end the cycle of poverty. If this episode moved you, please subscribe to Top Tier Logic. Hit like and ring the bell. Next time, we keep uncovering the logic behind wealth. I'm Mojo.